Welcome. In this video I'm going to talk about Kundalini energy and how you can learn to activate your Kundalini energy in a safe way. Now Kundalini energy, there's a lot of, it's very popular. I hear more and more interest in this. Of course there's Kundalini yoga that we know for a long time. There's something in the last few years called Kundalini activation process, CAP, that came about where facilitators can induce this Kundalini state in you in a particular way. I like it, but it's not the true Kundalini experience. And you become dependent on a facilitator to do this. So let's go into this a little bit together. First step is actually what is Kundalini? So you probably might know this when you watch this video. Kundalini is like a reservoir of energy. They say it's feminine energy, divine feminine energy at the base of the spine. And it's often depicted as a coiled snake lying there dormant. When you awaken this energy, it will rise up, the snake rises up, through the chakras, and it can take you into a really expanded state of consciousness or enlightenment experience. The reason why people want that kind of activation is because there's a lot of benefits that you can get from this. First of all, it accelerates your spiritual growth. It can lift you into a higher state of consciousness. It can awaken your spiritual powers when your third eye gets opened. Think of intuition, psychic, clairvoyant. It depends a bit on what your makeup is. I always say, what is your talent, your gift that is waiting to be awakened? It can be different for different people. Ultimately, it will take you to an enlightenment state of non-duality. But rather than it being a philosophy, there's a lot of people following non-duality kind of philosophy, as I call it, but it's not a direct experience. Here you will get a direct experience where your consciousness shifts to such a high level. You go beyond good or bad. You will see everything as divine. So there's a lot of benefits from this Kundalini state. But as you also know, it can be very dangerous. Now there's a lot of talk about this. Kundalini awakening can happen generally in two ways. One is where slowly this energy rises up. That is fine. Sometimes it only first goes up to the stomach and then maybe later to the heart and then to the throat and ultimately all the way to the crown. If that happens, then it's a gradual process and you shouldn't experience negative effects in most cases. But it can also happen that you get a spontaneous awakening and it's totally unpredictable when that happens. Why does for one person it goes in a controlled way and for the other person it becomes like an atomic bomb that goes off? Nobody knows. When that explosion happens and its energy rises up, boom, and it can go within a second. I've had that experience actually, but luckily I was prepared enough for it that it didn't damage me. When that happens, it can completely fry your neurological system. Totally, and it can damage your body, your mind. It can completely throw you off. I know a good friend who had that experience. Happened completely random. She was in bed for a year, totally unable to function. So yes, lots of benefits, but it can be very dangerous. Now there is a way how you can learn to activate this in a really safe way, and that's something that I teach. The method is called Tummo. It's part of Tibetan Tantra, highest yoga tantra. These are the techniques that the lamas and the monks, the yogis, use to go to full enlightenment in a very short time. Think about 3 years. It's very, very effective. It's also very secret. They call it secret mantra. It's their ultimate teaching, highest yoga tantra. They call it completion stage because it's the last instruction, and with this they complete the whole journey and it takes them to full enlightenment. So how this works with Tummo you are going to work actually on the second chakra, where Kundalini energy, as you know it, lies at the base. So here we're working with the second chakra, and you're going to ignite in a fire. Tummo means in a fire. And this is a physical experience of heat. You're not imagining this. When you do this technique, and when you do it correctly, when you've been prepared enough, it will ignite a fire, physical fire in your body, and that heat will let that rise up, and that will ignite a bliss, a different form of Kundalini from the crown, and that will flow down. You could say that the Kundalini at the base is the female Kundalini, and this is the male Kundalini. When that goes down, it does all the same things as the female Kundalini. The difference is that here you are in full control of the whole process. So at any time, if you were to feel uncomfortable, or you feel pressure, or you don't feel good, you will stop your meditation, and it will stop all the energetic process in your body. And I can share that from experience and from my students. That's how that works. It's completely safe. So you will get the bliss, it will flow down. Ultimately, you will learn to control that bliss and take that bliss all the way down into the base, and then ultimately, with some time, it will also activate the female Kundalini, so then you have that one going up as well. That's the ultimate step. But it kind of happens naturally. But actually, it sort of becomes irrelevant, because already this gives you everything that you are looking for. Now, how I teach this, I don't call it Tummo, the course is called Tibetan Tantra, because that's really what it is we're doing here. And the tantras, tantra means teachings, it's a set of techniques, a set of teachings. In level 1, we're going to prepare your system. This is about mastering your energy, completely opening and purifying your whole energy system. And this is already amazing, because you will truly, totally open up all the energy channels in your whole body. Now what's going to happen is, when you totally open up the energy in your body will heal itself. It sounds very simple, but it's very profound. And this will result, and I've seen this happen many times, it's like miraculous healings that occur. So one person had knee issues for a year and a half, walking on crutches, a lot of pain. Within a week, she was pain-free walking up and down the mountain, from doing those techniques from level 1. Another person who's a Kundalini yoga teacher, a good friend of mine, had back pain for many years, tried everything, healers, chiropractic, you name it. You know, and she was a Kundalini yoga teacher, she works a lot with energy, she knows how to work with energy, right? Couldn't shift it. Had resigned to, okay, I'm gonna have pain for the rest of my life. After 3 days, she phones me and goes, Steph, I'm pain-free. My back pain is gone. That's how powerful those techniques are. And I always say, you learn 6 techniques, but I always say there's one technique there called shining lights. That technique is worth the price of the whole full training. Because you will now have a tool how you can keep yourself healthy for the rest of your life. I know that's a bold claim to make, but it's really true, in my experience. So that's level 1. You're going to prepare your system. That's beautiful, beautiful training. 6 weeks program. Then I want you to work with that for a month. To really, you've learned these techniques, now you're going to work with this. And think that you must be prepared to work 30 minutes a day doing these meditation techniques. Then we're going to go to level 2, Tummo. So there I'll teach you the Tummo technique, and we're going to practice. And then you've got this technique, you've got these tools for the rest of your life. Now in the training, it's set up, the level 2, by the way, is 5 weeks. So relatively quick. It's not that hard if you know what to do. But you must have gone through level 1, otherwise you can't do that. And why do I do this? Because I want real results. I could just tell you, here's the technique of Tummo, but it wouldn't do anything. I'm not that kind of teacher. I really want you to get it. So in the training you will get video lessons, the teachings, the core teachings are all in videos, guided meditations that you can follow along. But then every week we do Zoom call, live with me. We have small groups, so I can give you individual attention. You can ask me questions directly. And in the Zoom calls we are going to practice and meditate together. And what happens there is an energy transfer where my energy will activate the energy in your system. And it will just help your system quicker to get it. So it's very important. So I want to work only with small groups so I can really do a direct transference to you. So if that resonates, go to my website. There will be a link below this video and you can find much more information, much more detail. Yeah, I hope you found this informative. Yeah, and the message I want to give is there is a way how you can do this in a safe way. And it can happen relatively quickly. Now this is about mastering your energy. So like I said, you need to be prepared to put the effort in. I can't just poof, give this to you. You need to, most days, not every day, but think 5 days a week, half an hour practice minimum. Some days it will be more. Some days you, especially later on when you get to level 2 and you do Tummo, there's a good chance you'll be meditating for an hour because it's so enjoyable. For me, sessions can last up to 2 hours because you can also do this lying down. So that takes away all the problems of can you sit in meditation posture for 2 hours without cramping your legs, etc. You can just lie down. You will learn all that. It's incredibly full, very rich training. There's so much information. You learn amazing techniques. This will become a practice for the rest of your life. I've done so many things. This is the only thing I practice. The only other thing I practice is Merkaba meditation. That's a whole different story in itself. Those are the only 2 techniques that I need. And I know, I call it simmering, slow cooking. If you do this day after day after day, and I don't do it every day. There are weeks when I maybe don't do it at all because life happens. But this is the practice that I do most days. And I know ultimately with time, it's slow cooking. At the end you'll be fully cooked. The Tibetans do this in 3 years. But they sit in a cave in the Himalayas. Yeah, we have a Western lifestyle. I can't go in a cave for 3 years. I'm single dad still. My daughter lives with me. It's different. But that's also why I teach this training in a completely modern way. With videos, with graphics, computer animations, to transmit those teachings, and you'll get the authentic teachings. Completely authentic. Just like the masters in Tibet transmitted it orally from master to disciple, you will get exactly the same techniques. Super powerful. So if that resonates, if you want to train with me, it would be an honor for me to share these teachings with you. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful.